Well, hello everyone, and welcome along to the opening round of the ULC World Championship. It's Season 3, and it's the first ever season on PS4. We've had 2 successful seasons on Xbox, and finally it's time to cross platforms to the PS4 League. Alongside me tonight, I've got Ollie. Ollie, it promises to be a fantastic season, doesn't it?
Yeah, we've had some fantastic pre-races, especially down in Xbox. There's been some great racing. I've been watching Keenly down there, and now we've got PS4. It's set to be fantastic. I don't know about you, Andy, but I am so excited to see how things kick off here at Australia.
Yeah, I cannot wait. I mean, we might not have STS, we might not have AOR. Those guys, of course, winning in Tier 1 and Tier 2 earlier on, but we still have a fantastic lineup here tonight. Let's quickly run through them right now as we get started here in qualifying. It's a fine day, by the way, at Albert Park, Melbourne. A wonderful afternoon for qualifying, which is not what we had in the last race on Xbox Tier 1. It was wet for qualifying. But yeah, let's have a look then at the ULC driver lineup. So, the TGP series, we have got Softcop lining up, and alongside him we've got JD7, that's Jake Davies. And yeah, that will be a very quick lineup. Watch out for Softcop. I am expecting some big things from him here this weekend. We'll see what he's capable of. And Jake is also a very quick driver. We've got the MGP lads. There's 2 Spaniards. They shone last time out, particularly SML Carey. He was very, very quick in the pre-season test in Bahrain last week. And Ollie, you know a lot about these guys. Do you think they're going to be very quick this weekend?
Yeah, I'm very excited to see them. I've heard very good things about them, especially last week in the pre-season test. Kari was absolutely on fire. He took it right to Shamasi, and it was a battle throughout the race. Them two are going to be, I reckon, neck and neck through this race as well. I've got money on them two, probably taking 1 and 2. It's a risky statement early on, but I'm really impressed by Shamasi and Kari. Throughout the field as well, there's some great drivers, so I mean, it's really stupid of me to make an early bet on who I think is going to take pole position and possibly the win.
Well, speaking of Shamasi, he races for Inside Line Racing. He teams up with Ace of Pace. Those two will be gunning for glory. Will it be a case, as you say, Ollie, between Shamasi and SML Car? We'll find out. We'll have to find out. It's going to be very, very interesting between those two. But of course, not everyone was there last week. Only a few drivers didn't turn up, so we'll have to wait and see. As Softcop joins us late, so he's going to be struggling on the back foot as Softcop. He joins us late. But now we move on to UPL, Dante02 and Stocky lining up for them, the Ultimate PlayStation League. Ollie, do you know a little about these two?
I know little bits about them, yeah. They're very technically good drivers. In their own leagues, they're very well respected, very clean guys. Kind of the unknown of the league, not very well known, but that doesn't mean they're not going to be quick. I think anyone in this league can take it. We don't know too much about this. Is what's great about ULC, is the fact that, you know, anyone can shock anyone. Its pace could come out of nowhere. As just to let you know, Pit Matt is the first one, I believe, to be setting a lap here, maybe throughout the field, but the laps are now starting to slowly come in, as it looks like Pit Matt's actually very good at just going wide a little bit there. But yeah, UPL is going to be one of them leagues. I think another one as well that we could be surprised about is SLR, not to be confused with SRL. You can probably count the amount of time that one's going to get confusing throughout the season. But another one as well, they've got Technica and Tumas, another pair that I don't personally know too much about, but they could be very, very quick. I don't believe they were there for the pre-season race, so they could throw up a couple of surprises on the grid here.
Yeah, absolutely, Ollie. And as you say, I mean, that's what's great about the ULC. A lot of leagues that we don't know about, and that's what the ULC is all about, bringing the community together and bringing leagues from all corners of the Formula 1 community into battle. And it's fantastic to see that. We've had 2 successful races and now another. And I have to say, another league, relatively unknown by the both of us, is ARC, Auto Racing Connected. They've got Jacksonga and Max GK90 racing for them as Pit Matt sets the opening time of the board at 1:22.7, the first time on the board in the Red Bull, and he is running, of course, for the International Formula Championship, the IF Leagues, and it's Pit Matt alongside Tiger Cat. Tell us a little bit about those two. I feel you know a little bit about them.
They're very good friends with Pitman and Tiger Cat, or Andy Graham and Matthew Orange. They're very, very good drivers. I know that the league owner Joseph Williams will be watching live with anticipation of what his drivers can do. Pitman is notoriously consistent. He races in many different leagues as well. The IF Leagues is where he made his trade. He's been racing in there for a good 5 or 6 years. I've personally raced with him, very good friend, a very humble guy as well, very talented. And I hope that he can shine on this platform where many people will be watching him, and Tiger Cut as well. He's a very talented lad as well.
Yep, and of course, two guys we know very, very well from the SRL Supreme Racing League, Matt Meerkat and Skeven. Well, let's talk about Skeven first of all. When he's on it, and when he's not making mistakes and getting penalties, he can be very, very, very quick. As SML Marchetti goes quick as a 1:21.647. But yeah, Skeven, we know he's very, very quick, and on his day can really, really get in amongst the front here and really challenge for the victory, you'd have to say.
Yeah, definitely. Skeven is, I would say, over one lap, one of the quickest guys I know. But as you mentioned, his inconsistency lies with his penalties. Often he'll have a fantastic race, but he'll lose the race victory or even a podium based on the fact that he picks up penalties. He'll probably have sat down with Jamie Turnbull, the SRL coordinator for the PS4 side, and probably had a word about his penalties. They would have been discussing this thoroughly. I dare say all the team bosses have been discussing tactics and the strategies with their teams and their driver lineup throughout this. But yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, we mentioned the Kari and Marchetti being two very quick guys over on MGP. I mean, right now 0.15 is only the gap that's separating them, and at the moment Pit Matt is in 5th. He's 6 tenths down, and obviously Matt Meerkat 17 seconds. I'm not sure that's his exact pace that we'll be seeing, but already we're seeing signs of a very close grid that hopefully will continue to get close to Shemasi as well. He's 0.36 off the pole time at the moment, with only just over 5 minutes to go, and there's some drivers that haven't even set times. We've got Skeven, Stocky, Mr. Stim, as another lap comes in there, and yeah, we've got some great drivers to still set laps ahead of us.
Yeah, we sure do. And finally, we've got to ask you about the PSGL lads. We've got Shortbread and Mr. Stim lining up for those two, and PSGL, a really well-known league, but we don't know too much about them, do we? That's the thing. It's going to be very interesting to see how they go in PSGL. They should be very quick. And 5 minutes to go in this section, as you say. We've got SML Marchetti on top at the moment. Kari in second. His Spanish friend, the two Spaniards, showing the Brits how it's done early on here. We've got Ace of Pace in third, Shemasi in fourth. So there you go. As we call right at the top of the show, it's the MGP lads and the Inside Line Racing lads at the top of the timesheet. So there you go. SML Marchetti on top, Kari second, Ace of Pace third, Shemasi fourth, Pit Matt fifth, and Mr. Sim out there, a late replacement for, was he a race? Yeah, I think he was a late replacement. And
yes, he was.
And he is out there pushing very, very hard at the moment. So what can Mr. Sim do? He's currently fastest at the moment in the Toro Rosso. Around about a second away from the pole time. He comes out of the final corner and into the pits. A little bit of a lull in the action at the moment, but we've got Technica out there at the moment. He's yet to set a time, and he comes into the pits. This is not ideal with 4 minutes to go in qualifying, is it all? He's seeing all these drivers in the pits with no time on the board. It's so important you get a banker in.
Yeah, very much so. Matt Meerkat in the pit, 17 seconds off. Tiger Cut will want to improve. So will Tumas, Mr. Stim, probably Pit Matt, and maybe even Shemasi. He'll be pretty disappointed with that time. Mitch GK's coming out. He's just about to set his lap time. Stocky as well. He hasn't set one. Leaving it late.
He's on one now.
Strategy.
He's on one now. Let's go on board with Stocky then. There's apologies there, Ollie. On board with Stocky in the McLaren as he heads down towards turn 3. Let's have a little ride on board with him for a lap of Albert Park then. Through turn 3 into turn 4 now, past the cricket ground. And now turn 5, really tricky corner. Got to hang it out to dry through there. And now down into the next sequence. Pushing hard as Stocky, no time on the board. A lot of pressure on him as he heads now down towards turns 8 and now 9 and 10. And he'll get ready to go past the fans sitting on the left hand side on the hill. A glorious day here in Melbourne. They'll be soaking it up. And the first ever ULC race on PlayStation 4, past the water on the right and now through the high speed.
Oh, quickly, JD has just got into the wall on his hot lap. He won't be able to get back in. He's damaged his front wing from 9th position, 1.9 seconds off. I was just keeping an eye on throughout the field there, and he's gone into the wall. I believe that was into turn 5, and I mean, it's disappointing for him. You know, he's going to be dropping. He's not going to be able to set a time now, so that seems to be his qualifying session done.
That's a sore one for JD and the TGP boys. That's going to be 9th at best for him. You have to feel. Where is Stocky though? He's coming across the line. He moves up into 5th position, gets to within half a second of the guys. The SML Marchetti on pole. Still the Spaniards on top here with 2.5 minutes to go. Who else is out there pushing on a lap? We've got Shimasi out there. Is this a quick one or is it an out lap? I believe this is an out lap for Shimasi. Is there anyone on a quick one out there we can try and pick up? Technique is in the pits.
Coming through the final few corners, I think.
Yep, Skeeven about to, he's winding up for one, not a quick one. 2 minutes to go, we're about to really get up towards the end of the session where the track really rubbers in. A few tenths to be found out there. Few drivers with no time on the board. The pressure especially on the likes of Skeeven. We watched him in the SRL in the last couple of weeks really struggle and fail to get a time on the board. So he really needs to deliver here today for his league. So Skeeven under pressure. SML Marchetti on a quick one then. Pushing hard. Kari coming up to the line. Is he on a quick one at the moment? No, he's winding up for one. Shimasi, I think he's winding up as well. Stocky's had enough, so he's out of qualifying. 5th place is the best it will be for him. Pit map pushing Mr. Stim.
The first one across the line is going to be Tumas, Andy. I think the first one's Tumas.
Let's find Tumas then. Where is he? There he is. PA at the moment. Up to the line comes Tumas. Will he get an extra lap on top of this? Tumas currently 8th, and he stays 8th quickest for the moment. So Tumas, there's still SML Marchetti at the top of the timesheets. And is he on a quick one at the moment? He's locked up as SML Marchetti. He's retired from the session. So now he has to sit and wait and hope and pray that no one is going to knock him off the top of the timesheets. Who else we got out there? We've got Pit Matt in the final part of the lap, pushing very hard and losing the rear end. And that is the end for Pit Matt. He might have fuel for another run. He does. 1.96 laps. Will he choose to do it though, or will he just back out and avoid damaging his cars? And Skeeven for the SRL delivers at long last. We've been waiting for the moment. We said it at the top of the show. He's quick over one lap, and he finally shows it. And look at the deficit, 1,000th of a second. It doesn't get any closer than that. And Skeeven puts a dagger through the heart of the Spaniards, but here comes Carr. Can he come back across the line and steal it back? No, he can't. It's a poor lap. He will have another run though. 3rd quickest for him. Ace of Pace is backed out. 3rd at best for him. We've got Shimasi on a flyer out there for the ILR. Shimasi pushing hard, climbing up through the gears as he goes through the swooping left-hander of turn 10. Now into the high-speed chicane. Look at that, pushing these 2017 cars to the limit. Can Shimasi do anything about the SRL? And Skeeven, who at the moment has got the high ground, he's found the pace. But as we've said before, when it comes to the race, Skeeven often struggles, but he's absolutely delivered here. And now Shimasi puts a wheel in the grass and surely ends all hopes of pole. And is there anyone else out there that can deny him? We've got Tiger Car heading for the start-finish line. He's currently down in 11th. Will he improve? No, he does not. He stays in 11th. What about Technica? He's in the final corner. Can he do anything about Skeeven, who's on pole at the moment by just the smallest of margins? Here comes Technica, and I think he's climbed up into 4th place there. Yes, he has. Well, what about that? 1,000th of a second separating them there. Let's have a quick rundown of a thrilling Australian Grand Prix qualifying session. Well, Skeeven, he goes fastest. It's been rounded up, as you can see, to 2,000ths of a second, the gap. A 121.645. SML Marchetti in 2nd, right behind him. And his teammate, Kari, looking very quick as well. The two Spaniards looking very strong. Technica goes 4th for that late effort. Ace of Pace is 5th for ILR. Mr. Sims 6th after that late call-up. Shimasi only 7th, you'll be disappointed. Stocky 8th, Pit Matt 9th, and Matt Meerkat rounds out the top 10. Well, what do you make of that then, Ollie? Very explosive start in the qualifying.
I was watching throughout the field because obviously you keep an eye on all the big ones, and I was just looking through at some of the guys, seeing how they were doing, and I think Pit Matt kind of summed it up perfectly. Everyone was pushing to the absolute limit, and some people didn't even set their most competitive times. I don't think qualifying is exactly what we can say, but I mean, I think the top 5 were covered by a few temps, so it's a real good sort of what's to come, and this is going to be a fantastic Grand Prix. I'm really excited. Who's your money on, Andy?
Oh, I've got no idea. You said at the top of the show in qualifying it would be silly to bet on anyone, but at the moment, can Skeeven finally show what he's capable of in the race? I'm not so sure. My money is on one of the Spaniards, I'm afraid. I really think, for Skeeven's sake, it's not going to happen for the SRL. I think the Spaniards are going to do it unless Skeeven can finally deliver. It promises to be a cracking race. The first ever race, remember. And here we go, the first ever race for the ULC on PS4. Let's go! Skeeven moves off the grid in the lead. He's got SML McKerry alongside as they run towards the first corner. Skeeven with a solid start, and he leads into turn 1. The perfect start for the Force India, the perfect start for SRL. It's him in the lead. Carey's climbed ahead of his teammate in second, and McKerry is third as they go down towards turn 3. So, Skeeven, Carey, SML McKerry, we've got Technica 4th, and then Shimasi climbs up into 5th place. He's made 2 places off the start, and he absolutely needs that, Ollie, if he wants to get in amongst it at the front, doesn't he?
Indeed, I just kept an eye on their stock. He got involved in an incident. He's dropped down to the very back, so it's going to be a difficult day for him, but a fantastic start from Skeeven. You know, he absolutely dominated that line into turn 1. He took the line, no one could keep up with him, and the 2 Spaniards behind now are just going to be playing catch-up and squabbling. Going to have a big decision between them two of who is going to be the one leading and trying to chase Skeeven. You know, this is the only issue with Skeeven. His teammate is a bit far down. He's currently down in 9th, just overtaking 2 mats. So it's going to be interesting to see if Skeeven now has to try and put out this 1 second gap. But yeah, you look at the Spaniards behind, they are absolutely tailgating each other through turns 11 and 12 as Marchetti goes wide there on the exit of turn 12.
Yeah, he does, and that'll be very interesting to see how the Spaniards work this. Can they split the strategies? Will they both come in early to try and jump ahead of Skeeven? It will be interesting. They've got that to the advantage. As you say, Skeeven's teammate quite far down the field, and the 2 Spaniards are shadowing them already. The MGP boys right on the tail of them as they come to the end of the opening lap. It's Skeeven in the lead, Carey second, SML McKerry third, Technica 4th position. Can he do anything about SML McKerry in front? It looks to me like Shimasi is the man to watch. He's already moved up a couple of places, and he's now climbing all over the back of that Haas car, coming out of turn 2. The DRS not open yet, but this is where it will be in a couple of laps' time, as Shimasi has a little look behind Technica, but he can't find a way through. It's still Skeeven in the lead though. He's got a 6/10 gap. Can he try and break the DRS? It would be quite important if he could. It'd be crucial if he could in this early stages. Most of the field on ultra soft tyres. We've got Jake down in 9th on the softs, Chumas on the super soft, Tiger Kart Mitch, Softcom and Matt Meerkat all on the soft tyres further down the field. But look at that as they all stream through the opening so the second sector of the lap. It's still Skeeven on top. But where else have we got action going down the field? It looks to me like Shimasi is the man to watch at the moment, isn't it? Can he really start to threaten the guys in front? All you've got to say is he's got to try and clear Technica quickly and really get in amongst it. And look, Technica's made a mistake, and this already looks like an opportunity. And is that the 2? Yeah, it is. It's the 2 Williams cars swapping places. The 2 SML boys, the 2 MGP lads swapping places and letting Marchetti go. Carey then drops into the clutches of Technica and Shimasi as they go battling into the penultimate corner. And Shimasi lining them up here, using the Renault and placing it where he can. Out of the final corner, DRS not open yet as Shimasi lights up the rear tyres as they head across the start line. And Carey decides to drop off. What do you make of that one, Ollie? Letting his teammate go.
Tactic, really. You know, you can see they were holding each other up, and it was one that had to be made. You know, I mentioned it earlier. You know, it was a tactical decision whether or not they're going to let each other back through later on if he can't catch him. But Skeeven was pulling away way too much, and you can see that Marchetti is already, you know, closing in that gap on him. And what is actually left here is a fantastic battle with, I think, Pitman as well, which slowly chugged into this gap, into this battle as well. We could have a 4-way scrap here for first place, which would be incredible for the opening race. Looking down the field, quickly got to mention Matt Meerkat pitted early onto the soft tyres, as also there's a little scrap with Tiger Kart, which GK90 and Softcop for 11th at the moment, as they're all over each other. Yes, on the grass, beautiful move up the inside. Oh, I thought it was GK clipping Tiger Kart. Definitely going to have to be looked at, I dare say, later on. It looked like a very good move, but he just seemed to have locked up there. And sadly, that's taken Tiger Kart down to 13th, and Mitch DK in 12th, and actually released Softcop. He's had a fantastic start from the back of the grid.
Yeah, well, okay, so what did you see there? We've missed it on the stream. Did Mitch just slide into the side of Tiger Kart, miss his braking point, I presume, yes?
Yeah, it was a full lock on there. You know, he was up the inside, looked like he's going to make it stick.
We've got Ace of Pace and Chumas doing battle for 9th and 10th as well now. And I think Chumas has just gone past the Swedish driver racing for ILR. And sorry, Ace of Pace has gone past Chumas, my apologies, up into 9th position. But out front, Skeeven holding on. Matt Meerkat, by the way, has retired. He crashed, I believe, in the final sector of the lap. Made a right mess of the front of that Force India. But meanwhile, out at the front, and says Stocky now, Shimasi dropping down. What happened to him?
A look on let's see how we can get on board with Shimasi. I'm not too sure what happened. I think he might have gone wide going into turn 1 and outbroke himself. I can't confirm this, but I believe that might have been the issue that happened, because going into lap 4 he was up into 4th position. So continues to drop down. Kari as well was also dropped down as well behind Technica. So unless there was an audacious move up the inside that's cost them. But yeah, it's a very strange one. Shimasi though isn't a stranger to mistake. You know, sometimes it can happen. But he loves battles like this. Very quick driver, very clean driver as well. And I look forward to seeing what he can produce throughout this race. It's only early days, of course.
Well, that's the thing. It's as you say. I mean, a lot of drivers making mistakes earlier on. Shimasi, Kari now making a mistake, and yeah, the pressure is on in the ULC. You're representing your league. And it's very difficult, and Kari up the inside of Stocky, and that was never ever on. He slides into the side of the UPL driver, who goes for a spin, and he will be absolutely furious. Kari he looks locked up, got it wrong with the brakes, and just slithered into the side of the McLaren, and round he went, pirouetting into a spin, and now the McLaren drops all the way from 4th down to 9th. Disaster there. Not at all what he'd have been hoping for. As interestingly, out in front, Skeven pegging that gap, holding it at around 1.2 seconds. It's not as if Marchetti is closing in too quickly, is it, Ollie?
Yeah, well, early on it looked like he was gaining. It's now down to a second. He needs to try and get that DRS activated to actually make a move. As we know, Australia is a very tough track to overtake it. You only really have 2 cracks at the whip here. That's down the start finish straight and going into turn 3. Other than that, unless you want to go for a really audacious move into turn 11 and 12, or maybe the braking zone into 13. Or maybe, you know, pull off Mitch GK and trying up the inside down, I think, turn 7. But yeah, it's a very tough track. It's basically a street. It is a street circuit, but with some wide sections on it. But yeah, there's some really good battles going on. Shimasi closing in on Pitmat, closing in on Kari, who isn't too far off Technica. He wants to train for, and the Technica is holding on to this podium position at the moment. As you mentioned, Marchetti about 1.2 seconds is kind of the gap they're seeing. We're looking at the tyres as well. They're on, I believe, 2 maps on super softs. We've got a couple of soft runners and stockies on ultra softs as well. So it'll be interesting to see how the strategy goes. Soft Cop seems to have some good pace on them soft tyres. It's slowly chipping away at 2 masses gap, or slightly just gone up there. But as well, Shimasi is the only one currently within the DRS, so it could be interesting to see how he does on Pitmat going into the start-finish straight now. I don't think he's close enough. Might just try and hold it off into turn 1, get a better exit into turn 3. We'll keep on board with him at the moment. Also, Kari as well, on to Technica. A little bit wayward there, could have got a better exit, but on with Shimasi. He does seem to get a better exit than Pitmat. I don't think it's going to be enough going into turn 3.
Yeah, well, Shimasi a little bit far back, but meanwhile, Stocky trying to climb onto the back of Ace of Pace and begin his recovery drive after that collision with Kari, which I would think will go to the stewards after this Grand Prix. But how can Stocky get on? The last of the runners on the ultra soft tyre at the moment in 9th position. Skeven continuing to hold that gap. But can Stocky get onto the back of Ace of Pace and find a way through? We'll find out then as he heads down into turn 6 and 7 and through the long sweeping turn 8. And still he remains stuck in Ace of Pace. But Ollie, I'm expecting a one-stop here. Is it going to be ultra softs to softs or ultra soft to supers? What are the guys out front going to be doing?
Well, I'd imagine they'll be going for the ultra softs to the softs to play it safe. I'd be shocked if the super softs do last that. Sometimes highway can be, but super softs, if they can make their tyres last, and I dare say many of them can do. Just a side note quickly, JD just set the fastest lap with 1 minute 25 dead, I believe, or 25.2, one of the two there, on the super soft tyres. So he's showing some good pace in there as well. Marchetti has got into the DRS as well, so that's going to be interesting. And Technica's train is slowly starting to build up with Kari, Pitmat and Shimasi, and also Mr. Stim slowly chugging away. At that time, it's now down to 1.8 seconds, nearly 1.9, sorry, but he's really gaining on. So a bit of a 5-way scrap in third, but as you see, Kari right on the back of Technica. Technica seems to be all over the place on the exit of the corner, seems to be riding them curves nicely. I don't think he's been able to make a move up the inside. As also as well, Marchetti's all over the back of Skeven there, gets a little bit wayward, but if you get on board with them now, they are having a lovely little battle here for the race lead, so it could be interesting to see what happens, but I think Marchetti might have the pace, so the MGP guys, the Spaniards, have really played the blinder here in their tactical decision. Kari might have dropped the place, but he's definitely showing some good pace throughout the field.
Yeah, certainly. SML Marchetti really starting to turn the screw now and ask questions of Skeven's race pace. We said it, we did say Skeven, when it comes to one lap, it's absolutely rapid. But when it comes to race pace, questions are asked. So here we go then, the Spaniard beginning to turn the screw on the SRL driver. Can he put the pressure on and force Skeven into a mistake, or just send a missile up the inside? As long as he doesn't do what his teammate did, I think he'll be okay. But yeah, SML Marchetti getting onto the back of Stephen then on lap 7 out of 29. Are Stephen's tyres beginning to cry a little bit? Possibly, and maybe the Spaniard's looking after them better, mind you, as he lights up the rear tyres out of there. That won't be happening for long, as now we lose stock of him in the race. That's a real shame, and hopefully he can join back and get in amongst it. He's left the session, he must have disconnected. Slightly disappointing to say. Hopefully he can get back in here. Not a good afternoon for him, as Shimasi, pardon me, has finally had enough sitting in the group and come in for the first pit stop. He's going to try and undercut them, and as we suspected, a set of soft compound tyres going on for the inside line racing driver, and he heads back out. Now, can he slot a gap to get some quick times in? Is he coming out into clean air? Have the Renault boys done that? Yes, they have, and here we go. Is this going to trigger the pit stops, Ollie? It certainly looks like it. Can Shimasi start pounding in the laps and climb a few places?
I'd imagine so, as a 5-second stop go penalty there for mixed GK. I was just looking at the penalties. In fact, Shimasi does have a 3-second penalty. Pit Matt just picked up a 3-second penalty while Shimasi was in the pits. And the other notable one is Kari, who also has a penalty. He was also all over the back of technique. It's 2 tenths behind him now. So this might be perfect for Shimasi. He's pitted very early. Pit Matt has dropped a little bit back.
Shimasi made a slight error there. Stephen made a slight error there in the battle for the lead. And now SML Marchetti really is putting the pressure on, but he's actually locked up a little bit, made a complete mess of, what's that, turn 13, and Stephen gets away with it. But coming out of turn 12, Stephen really had the rear end on the curb, on the grass, kicked up some dust, and SML Marchetti nearly got a run on him going down towards turn 13, but he really fluffed his braking point.
Just quickly note to Kari quickly, Andy, they're right on each other now going into turn 1. They seem to be much closer now, and I think there goes Kari looking for a move on the inside. He's going to back out of it, I think, and try and get a better exit out of this corner. See what he can do now, gets a better run. Going to try and use the slipstream and DRS technique. You're going to have to take a defensive line here. Both of these two are squabbling, which is actually playing into the hands of Shimasi, who's painted onto soft tyres now. Looks for a move up the inside, but decides better of it. Doesn't want to get any damage from this. Pit Matt has pitted for soft tyres as well, so he's reacting to Shimasi. Let's see if Shimasi comes out ahead as they're coming down now.
And it's very close, as you say. Here comes Shimasi. He's going to have the warmer tyres. Can he jump ahead of Pit Matt? He ducks to the inside, side by side. This is absolutely crucial. Can Shimasi, on those hotter tyres, sweep round the outside and get the move complete? It's going to be tough out there. A tall order round the outside into turn 4, and he almost takes evasive action for Pit Matt, and that kills the momentum. And Pit Matt survives and holds on, but that was getting very, very close. Another lap, and he would have been done. And Pit Matt would have lost that place there. But meanwhile, out in front, it's still Stephen from SML Marchetti, who continues to follow him and shadow him all the way, but still no way through. Let's have a little look and have a look to see who's been in. We've had Pit Matt in, Shimasi in, Jake's been in, Stocky, Tiger Cut and Mitch, all pitted. The top 8 yet to make a pit stop. We await the front 2. But they are broken clear now of the rest. Technica and Kari, you have to say it's going to be between MGP and SRL here this afternoon for the victory. It looks like it's Stephen against Marchetti. No one else looks close enough to match them today, as SML Marchetti gets closer once again coming out of turn 2. Now to within 3.5 tenths as he hit the brakes for turn 3. Has a little look, tries to frighten Stephen and make him a little bit concerned as they reach the braking point, but no way through yet. And he remains behind.
No, Andy, Pit Matt now coming down the start finish straight. Kari's pitted, and it seems like Pit Matt's going to come out ahead as he exits the pit lane. Pit Matt overtakes him. Shimasi gets past Kari. The longer pit stop, taking longer to come into the pits. The overcut didn't work. The undercut for Pit Matt, and that crucial defence of Shimasi has moved Pit Matt up into possibly a potential podium as he's being held up though by Soft Cop. See if he can dispatch of him. So technique is staying out might actually help him. He might be able to get the jump here, and Pit Matt's traffic holds him up just enough. As you say, Marchetti right on the back of Stephen now.
Yeah, look at this. This is getting critical for Stephen now. Marchetti can slide out of here. Stephen under some serious pressure as they head down towards turn 13 and 14. And once again, he just about survives as Marchetti really got the bit between his teeth here. This Spaniard is arriving here in Australia, determined on race day to put one over in Stephen. There was nothing between them in qualifying, 0.02 of a second, and they're both coming in. And this is critical now. This is why the teams practice so much over the winter and on Thursdays. This is why they practice so much to get the pit stops right, because it can come down and decide a race victory. In comes the Force India, up on the jacks, on go the soft tyres. Is he ahead? Is he behind? SML Marchetti on the way out the pits. And it looks like he is ahead, comfortably ahead. He's actually built a gap here, has Stephen on SML Marchetti. Could that be decisive in the way this race finishes. He now has a cushion and a chance to regroup and collect his thoughts a little bit and push on now with SML Marchetti quite a distance back there. I don't know what's happened to the pits for him. He must have had to wait for the Haas of Technica.
Yeah, I've just got to quickly mention as well, Technica has done what I said he was going to do. The overcut has worked, Pitmat's traffic and Softcock's been overtaken by Pitmat, but Technica has made this perfectly. He's held up to the position, the podium is pretty much his now, but Pitmat, he's got the warmer tyres all over the back of him, but a brilliant strategy there from Technica. Played it well, Softcock there, not an easy car to get past. You mentioned earlier, very talented driver, as now Kari's going to try and dispatch him now as he goes looking around the outside of there. Probably going to go for a lunge move, Softcock. Clip the rear, up the inside goes Kari.
And beautifully done, Softcock. Well, that's really Premier League against Championship, isn't it? With the difference of those tyres. Fresh ones for Kari, 11 lap old ones for Softcock. Powerless to do anything about it. And not only that, Softcock's got slight end plate damage on that right hand side. So a real struggle for him. He's doing a pretty decent job, it has to be said. But another thing we have to watch is Tumas. Is Tumas going to be staying out much longer on those super softs? Because if he is, Skeven might be a little bit concerned about that. No, he's not. He's coming in. He comes in. So that's Skeven's concerns no longer an issue as we go back to the battle for what will be the final podium spot. That looks to be the battle to watch for now until we wait for Marchetti to get back onto Skeven. But it looks like a real battle beginning to emerge between Technica, Pitmat, Kari, and yeah, that's going to be very, very interesting to see who will come out on top there. But it's lap 12 out of 29. Skeven leads after the pit stops by 2.8 seconds to SML Marchetti, who seems to have a pace advantage. Now up into third after that pit stop from Tumas is Technica. A separate battle going on there as Technica battles with Pitmat and Kari for the final podium spot. Then we wait for Softcock, who's yet to make a stop, and then it's Mr. Stim, and then the struggling Chimasi, who just cannot get the clean air, cannot get in amongst it at the moment. Don't know what's going on there. We thought he was potentially favourite given his pace in the pre-season test, but at the moment it's not really happening for him. So
no, it's not. I just want to quickly mention to you, Marchetti has actually gained 6 tenths now in just 2 sectors. He is really closing in Stevens, so I think Stevens' problems weren't just based on tyres. I think Marchetti might have the pace on him. He just needs to try and get past him at some point. Technica as well has also gained on Marchetti, so this could turn into a three-way scrap. And with Pitmat and Kari right on the back, we could actually have a big scrap here. 5 cars in the lead. It's very much a what-if situation, but Marchetti continuing to get that time lower and lower. But Technica can see Marchetti in his peripheral. Can't say the word.
We've also got an incredible battle here for 6th and 7th. The Softcock tries. He's trying his best, isn't he, Ollie, to hold everyone up, but it's not really working out for him. And here comes Mr. Stim now, the latest man to put a marker down on Softcock. And no way through there into the first corner, and now through turn 2 down towards turn 3. Is this the moment that Mr. Stim completes the move? Softcock on those old tyres, remember, 13 lap old softs. He'll be on the ultras later on, locks up. Mr. Stim almost collided with him, and frustratingly he remains stuck behind him. But yeah, as you say, SML Marchetti still trying to whittle that gap down. And
just also. Kari on Pitmat. He's right away. He's going round the outside of him now. Going into the braking, Pitmat outbrakes him, a slight lock up. Going to try and get a better entrance out this corner on the curve. There we go. Kari goes round the outside. They're going to go side by side, it seems. And it looks like Kari's got the move done. Better traction out there. Pitmat would be brave if he wants to go side by side, but he slots in there and Kari moves up into 4th position. Lovely move. Pitmat put under pressure. Couldn't deal with it. Kari's next target is Technica to try and make it a 2-3 and a double podium for the Spaniards.
Yeah, Chimasi picks up another 3-second time penalty. His wretched afternoon continues. 8th and 9th for the 2 ILR boys. It's not going too well. As Kari, yeah, as you say, now looking at the back of Technica. Lovely move on Pitmat. He lit up the rears, Pitmat. He was put under pressure. Questions were asked and he failed to answer them. So Kari now having a look at Technica. If you have to say though, if they don't get the victory at MGP, the Spaniards, they'll be quite happy to take a double podium, you would think, because that would definitely see them go to the top of the standings. With Matt Meerkat out, Skeven doesn't have any backup for the SRL lads. So this is a strong position, even as it is right now, 2nd and 4th for the MGP lads. So can Kari now close in on Technica and get the job done. It was a nice move on Pitmat, and here he goes. It's just Chimasi now is having a look at the back of Mr. Stim, who's still stuck behind Softcock, and in turn Ace of Pace is stuck as well, not helping the 2 ILR lads as well as Mr. Stim. And Sofcop is quite simply the cock in the champagne bottle here, isn't he? As Shimasi now really getting racy behind Mr. Stem, and Ace of Base really racy behind him. The four cars hurtling down towards turn 9 and 10. Here's Mr. Stem having a look. Shimasi dives for the inside. Very opportunistic move. They go side by side as they go along past the hill. The fans up on the hill, on their feet. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Here comes Ace of Base, the two ILR boys, trying to do battle with Mr. Stem on the brakes, and they go side by side, and somehow Shimasi slots in, and Mr. Stem slots in behind, and there's no contact. Great racing there. Shimasi mucks him off. Brilliant late braking manoeuvre into turn 9, wasn't it, Ollie?
Oh yeah, it was fantastic. There's still life in Shimasi, even though he's picking up some penalties and had a pretty wretched day for his standards. He is right all over the back of Sofcop here. As he just
Stem's gone deep.
Damage there. And they're going in. Oh, Mr. Stem has gone deep, and Ace of Pace has moved up into 8th position. Just want to quickly note to you as well, I was looking at penalties once again. Marchetti has a 3-second time penalty, meaning if he gets past Skeven, he's going to have to pull out the gap. Skeven, we mentioned earlier, was one who gets up, picks up penalties, but he seems to have practiced really hard to make sure.
It's all change again as Ace of Base now jumps ahead of Shimasi, who ran wide trying to get past Sofcop, and now Ace of Base tries to go around the outside of Sofcop. These guys used to do battle in TGP years ago, and it wasn't pretty to say the least, and Sofcop is determined to hold him back. It's very personal between these two. I can assure all you guys watching, these guys go back a very long way. So brace yourselves for impact. That's all I'm saying. As they go side by, they're about to go side by side in a moment, you feel, through turn 8 then, into turn 9, and for the second lap in a row, the fans will be on their feet up on that hill, but Sofcop stays stubborn, stays firm, and holds on to that 6th place as these guys' races are being totally wrecked here. 11 seconds the gap to Pitmat ahead of Sofcop. It looks to me like 6 is the best it's going to get for Shimasi here this afternoon, as Sofcop is so slow. Shimasi nearly, Ace of Pace, sorry, pushing him, basically pushing him through the high-speed chicane of 11 and 12. Get a move on, he's saying, but Sofcop on those tyres, really struggling, and Ace of Pace dancing all over the back of him, looking left, looking right for a move, and still Sofcop holds him off. And look at this, JD is going to be getting involved pretty soon as well, and so is Chumas as well, as Sofcop finally frees them and goes into the pits, and there'll be a huge sigh of relief down in the ILR garage, I would think, as their two drivers are finally released into 6th and 6th and 7th. So SMR McKerry, as you say, 3-second time penalty, slightly disappointing, but he is closing in. 1.5 seconds now the gap between him and Skeven, but yeah, I mean, if you can put the pressure on Skeven, Ollie, Skeven could end up with a penalty. We know his history, we know his record on penalties from the SRL League. If Marchetti can apply the pressure, he might start to get results, isn't that right?
Yeah, well, Marchetti, unlike as we say it, Skeven just picked up a 3-second time penalty. If you look at your
there you go.
So, as you exactly said, Skeven is no stranger to a penalty. Marchetti won't know this, that it's an even playing field. He would have already been taking it as an even playing field, but now it's critical, it's on track, whoever takes it. Note of which, actually, Technica, only 2.6 seconds off Marchetti. If he gets himself up into this, the penalties might come in handy. I don't believe Technica actually has a penalty. I'll quickly just double check this for you. No penalty for Technica, no warnings, and a flawless race. Another side note as well, I was keeping an eye on the gap there between Pitmat and Sofcop, which is who is in P6, now Ace's pace. It originally was 5 seconds when all the squabbling began. It's now 13.2, and it's actually climbing. I feel like they might have taken it out of their tyres a little bit as these guys all continue to squabble. So it looks like the top 5 have pulled away, slightly away from the rest of the pack, but still there's a great scrap between Shimasi, Mr. Stim and Ace of Pace, and JD also jumping into this. So we've still got a battle going on, and as well, you should keep an eye on Sofcop throughout the race. He's come out in 12th position. He's going to be flying. I expect the fastest lap to come from him anytime soon. As well, Shimasi pitted very early. If you remember, he was the first one to take the pits, go into the pits, so his tyres might not last the duration of this race. So we could be seeing Shimasi doing a 2-stop. As well, there could be other guys who pitted early. The only one I would say I would think is guaranteed not to have to pit is Technica, who has just clipped the wall. I was just on board with him there. He's clipped the wall. He might have damage on his front wing. He's okay, so yeah, a little risky there from Technica. Doesn't want to ruin this great opportunity he has, and he's being closed in by Kari, who is now under a second behind him.
I'll tell you something else that's really making me wonder here. Kari is absolutely flying right onto the back of Technica. If he can clear Technica quickly, he could get within 3 seconds and take the victory from the pair of them out front. He's absolutely flying at the moment, but it's, as we know, it's one thing to get onto the back of someone, but on a track like Melbourne, it's not easy to overtake. But SML Marchetti now, within just 0.6 of a second of Skeeven, it's on here. 3-second penalty for the pair of them, and now we have a level playing field. Skeeven, he doesn't like pressure, but he's getting it now. He's received a 3-second time penalty. Can he hold on? The Irishman driving for Supreme Racing League in the first ever PS4 ULC race. Will he hold on? It's going to be a thrilling finale. We've already had 2 thrilling finales in the Xbox leagues, and we're on for yet another. Skeeven against SML Marchetti. It's MGP against SRL. And we've got, what's that, around 11 laps to go. And this promises to be a thriller. It's Carey now. Look at this. He's flying onto the back of Technica. The Spaniards are on a charge.
Yeah, as I mentioned, the soft copper's just set the fastest lap. He's absolutely flying down there, but this is fantastic to see. We know, we're in the commentary box, we know they haven't got a clue that this is happening, what's going to happen. These penalties, I know people mention and moan about the system as it's a really interesting line there from Technica. Might be a corner cut warning. We mention penalties in the way the game works. This could be a really interesting finale. I know it would sound bad. Tiger Cup picks up a penalty as we talk about it. I know it would sound bad, but it'd be interesting to see if Technica and Carey, if they picked up penalties, we could have a 4-way scrap where it's just head to head to see who is the best man.
I'll tell you what now, SML Marchetti is not interested in messing about here. He's right up behind Skeeven, who's to go across the start-finish line. It's just the moment the Spaniards make their move. SML Marchetti to the inside on Skeeven, locks up the rears and very nearly slides into a spin and into the gravel trap. Somehow he collects the car together and just about avoids the back of that Force India, but he's very, very close to making a move, and if he doesn't do it quickly, as you say, Technica and Carey will be in there to pick up the scraps, but unfortunately for them two, they're busy battling one another. This race is coming alive in the closing laps, and in the first ever PS4 race on ULC, could it get any better than this? Look at SML Marchetti basically pushing Skeeven around the track. He's climbing all over the back of that Force India now. He'll be blinded by the pink, bright colours on that car as they go through turn 8 and now along towards the turn 9 and 10 and towards the high-speed chicane of 11 and 12 once again. And is SML Marchetti going to get the run through here, applying the pressure on Skeeven again? But no, Skeeven continues to hold firm, continues to hold the lead as he's done since the start. After that vital pole position in qualifying, which I'll keep reminding you folks, was around 1,000th of a second. And as you can see, there's barely 1,000th between them on the racetrack. Absolutely thrilling. Out of the final corner, Marchetti lights up the rears, touches the grass, and is that his chance gone? Is that his chance gone? Skeeven now has a lifeline, he has breathing space.
Yeah, there'll be cheers down in the SRL in the garage there. They're going to be going mental. I'm just going to quickly mention, if you woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning in March to watch an F1 race like this, you'd be a very, very happy man, or woman to be fair. And this has been an absolute stunner. Carey is right on the back. I've done some quick maths as well. Ace of pace, the times he's setting and the way he's going about it, he will catch Pigmat by around the last lap. So that 5th place isn't just set in stone, and we should massively follow him pretty quickly. There's battles throughout the field. Carey, though, is the one to watch. He hasn't been able to get past Technica, and I think this has been summed up perfectly by Softcop. For me, so far, Softcop's defending against fresh tyre running drivers like Ace of Pace, Shamasi, and this is him, has been excellent, outstanding. He's been one of the standout performers, and considering he started last, he's done very, very well. As now Carey right on the back of Technica. Is he going to go for a little move up the inside going into turn 11 and 12? Don't think he's going to be stupid enough to go for it there, but he's going to take this slipstream, and he may go going into 13. It's a good line in there. Technica has been picking up warnings, just to let you know, through his penalty, through being put under pressure here, as Marchetti also now within the 1 second, so that mistake might not haunt him too much, as now they're going to be going into the start-finish straight as we quickly have to cut on. I don't think Marchetti will be able to, but Technica, you know, they're also gaining on them as well. It was 5 seconds last lap. It's now 3 seconds, so it could be a really interesting, as Carey is all over the back of Technica.
Well, at the moment, Ollie, I have to say the winner looks like it might come from these two at the rate they're catching, because Skeeven and SML Marchetti, remember folks, have got a penalty. The guys in 3rd and 4th do not. The gap to the leader is 3.8, 4.1. So at the moment, the front two still have the advantage, but particularly Technica here, because obviously Carey, if he doesn't win, his teammate could win. Technica here really seriously flying the flag for straight line racing. He could pick up a surprise victory here in the opening round of the championship if he can get his car within 3 seconds of the cars in front, but at the moment he cannot. 4.2 away from the two guys in the lead. Stephen still ahead from Marchetti, who again is chiseling away at that gap, fighting out of it, small chunks, lap by lap after that small error at the final turn a couple of laps ago. Stephen, that brief respite has been replaced by anxiety once again. Here comes Marchetti, flying through turn 11 and 12, onto the back of Stephen again. That car is on rails, he's flying through there, pushing so hard, and onto the back of Stephen into 13 and 14 again, and Stephen is going to be looking in his mirrors once more. The gap to third from the lead, by the way, from the lead, Technica, 4 seconds. At the moment he will miss out by 1 second, and Straight Line Racing will be biting their nails. They'll be so anxious, hoping that Technica can close that gap, but it's so difficult when he's got a mirrors full of Curry. It's so difficult to look ahead when he's got trouble behind, but SML Marchetti again right on the back of Stephen as Stim and Chumas swap places. Stim up to 8, Chumas 9, and yeah, really interesting to see if Sokop can close in on them. 2 seconds behind. Oh, he's not really closing in there, he'll close in on Jake, who is actually his teammate, so that's not really much to be excited about. Oh, we've got a car on the wall, that's Mitch. Mitch is in the wall, he's out, he was running right down the field anyway. He's crashed on turn 5, he's done a Kubica or a Vettel, or I think it was Kubica that crashed there in 09. But back at the front, Marchetti right on the tail of Stephen. And where do you think his best opportunity is, Ollie? Got to be turn 1 or 3, isn't it?
Well, you'd say, yeah, 1 or 3, but then it does make me think, is there going to be a really desperate lunge or a surprise lunge? Sometimes going into turn 13, people don't expect it, and that could be the best place to go for it. There's potential of an overtake there, and if Stephen's not expecting it, he's not going to be defending as heavily. Stephen's going to be knowing where he's going to go for the move normally. Kari picks up a penalty. That throws a spanner in the works, so that means that Kari would have to overtake either Marchetti or Stephen. So we thought Technique would be the one under pressure, but Kari is the one. He's getting desperate. I wonder if Kari might do a late lunge up the inside of Technique. With the frustration he's getting, he knows he can catch up to the 2 cars ahead. The gap actually now has dropped down to 4 seconds between Technica and Marchetti. That 3-second gap is now slowly chipping up, so it seems like the top 2 have now got the upper hand as they go into turn 1. Marchetti look for a moment inside of Stephen. I'm not too sure. They go to
he's going to have a run here. He's going to have a huge run.
Beautiful run now for Marchetti. Going to go into turn 3. Is he going to go to the inside? He takes the outside line. Stephen defends up the inside. He goes around the outside, side by side now. They go into turn 3. Just touch up the inside now for turn 4, but Stephen covers him off. Lovely. Great battling there. That's the first time we've seen them 2 side by side. Marchetti looked like he might go into the wall there, but lovely. This is what we're going to see. These 2 are now finally side by side battling for the first time this race. As that's a lovely line from Marchetti all over the back of Stephen. There is no respite for the Irishman representing SRO in this race. As they're going now down through the tricky middle sector. No real overtaking, but I think this is where Marchetti really to set his car up nicely to go for a move. And once again, Kari's all over the back of Technica. There seems to be, for the Spaniards, a lack of overtaking opportunities here. And it seems to be a disappointing race for them. I mean, they'll be happy with 2nd and 4th, but potential for a race winning the podium there.
I think they'll be happy with it, to be fair. And as you see, SML Marchetti gets onto the tail of Stephen as he hit the brakes for turn 13. Is he having another look? He is. Stephen a little bit anxious, you would feel now. Nails are being bitten down in that Force India garage. They have been bitten to the bone, and now it's a real struggle to see if Stephen can hold him back. He's gone deep into the penultimate corner. Surely this time SML Marchetti will have a run here. The Spaniard out of the final corner, up to the line for lap 24 out of 29, but he remains stuck behind and he's not close enough. But can he get the run out of turn 2 again? Stephen looks pretty tidy through there, and his chance is gone. And as you say, Technica not closing quickly enough. The 3 guys around him have got penalties. If he can find 9-10s, he will bring it home for Straight Line Racing. And a shock result in the opening race. But at the moment, agonisingly for those guys, it's not happening. Let's have a quick rundown of the order with 5.5 laps to go. Stephen leads for SRL. Then it's MGP's, SML Marchetti in 2nd. Technica is 3rd for Straight Line Racing. Kari is 4th for MGP. 5th is Pitmat for IF Leagues. 6th Ace of Pace for the ILR. Shumasi 7th, also of ILR. And Mr. Stinney, Chumas 9th, and Jake Davis is 10th. And now we go back to the action between Kari and Technica, getting very close again. Is this the moment Kari finally makes the move? And you have to feel, if he makes this move on Technica, Technica's chances of victory are going out the window, but somehow he still can't get close enough. As we go back to SML Marchetti, right up behind Stephen, through the penultimate corner, the second from last corner, into the penultimate one. This is where Stephen locked up a lap ago, but he's fine this time. SML McKetty's tried absolutely everything, and he clips the wall coming out of the final turn, and he's very lucky he's not damaged his suspension or front wing there. So it's as you were between those two, as Technica again has to get defensive, as Carly closes in on the back of him across the start finish line on lap 25 out of 29. Through turns 1 and 2, the DRS wide open on the Williams, the Mercedes engine singing its heart out as they approach turn 3. Is there a lunge coming here? He has a little look up the inside, and again he's denied the chance, and he remains stuck behind. Ollie, where do you see this going? Who's going to win it? Penalties included, who'll win it?
Well, Kari has 6 seconds worth of penalties, so I think we can safely take him out of the running. Technica, really, if he knew, the smartest thing for him to do would be to release Kari, let him go, let him catch up, and then use him. When he's under pressure, he's under the form as well. You can see just ahead that these guys aren't exactly far away. All it takes is one collision or one mistake, and this race is completely thrown on its head. Marchetti versus Stephen, I think Stephen's had it covered. He's done very, very well. We were very critical of him at the start of the race, saying how he picked up penalties and is always very often making mistakes when he doesn't have much pressure on him. But he's done a flawless race so far, really defended very, very well. I still think Technica might have something to say about this. I still can see Technica bringing something to this. I feel, I don't know, it's something about him. To the back of penalties, for me, he could really be the dark horse in this scrap.
Yeah, it's Technica, 4 seconds back remaining, so agonising for the straight line racing lads. They just cannot get their man within range. If only there was a way they could tell him he needs to, and I get what you're saying, Ollie, about letting him go, but it's too late now to let him go. Oh, there you go then. Marchetti's chances of victory are going to go up in smoke here, but it's Stephen, remember. A penalty is always possible. So now, will Marchetti simply throw the kitchen sink at Stephen in any way possible to get past him? He's got to send one up the inside now, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got to go for it. I mean, at this current moment in time, Kari picks up another penalty, so that takes, in fact, Kari will be dropping down to 5th position, which promotes Pitmat, who I think only has 1, so he might just catch it. Pitmat can gain that time. He might be dropping down to 5th, and Pitmat gaining up to 4th.
Oh, big slide to Marchetti, and again he clips the wall.
There.
Goodness me, he's really fighting that Williams. He's getting really aggressive, really feisty. He's picked up a second time penalty. He'll really be starting to boil in that helmet. And all of a sudden, it was looking so good for SML, MGP, whatever you want to call them, MGP. And all of a sudden, it's starting to fall away. Is the train coming off the rails here? Because he's got 6 seconds worth of penalties for McKenny, and Carey as well picking up penalties. And as you say, he might be dropping back into 5th place now, Carey. So this is all turning on its head. I still think SML, McKenny and Carey will come away from here leading this championship, but it could have been so much better for them. Stephen has answered all the questions thrown at him. He's been in terrible form of late. I'll actually tell you a little fact here. In SRL this season, he has been, to be fair, horrendous at times. He's retired, picked up penalties when he could have won. But you know what? The one race of the 13 rounds we've had so far he won was the opening one at Albert Park. And once again, it looks to me like he's going to do it here when it matters in the ULC for Supreme Racing League. What a story this would be.
Yeah, the underdog. I didn't expect this from Stephen, as Connor Hart picked up a penalty. I didn't expect this from him. He's done fantastically well. Marchetti has really become desperate. I think if he gets to 2 tenths, with only a few laps to go, we could see some desperate moves. Kari as well, I think he might just realise that his penalties are too much. There's no point in him jeopardising a potential 4th position, and some great points from the Spaniards in this round. And I just think this is a really important race. I mean, Stephen will be very happy with the race victory, but I don't think that SRL will be the happiest team to leave. That will definitely go to the Spanish. As I said, he's 2 tenths now. He's right on the rear end. He might go for a late lunge, and with a couple of laps to go, the pace he seems to have over him, if he can get him on this lap, he might be able to pull out the gap just in time. Let's have a look now as they go through the final corner.
He's lining him up. Here comes SML McKenny round the final corner. Is there any way he can go into the back of Stephen? The other thing we need to remember as well, Carey, he had a late lunge on Stocky and ruined his race earlier on, so it's not all looking great at all for the Spaniards. All of a sudden they might have an investigation hanging over their heads as well. But look at Marchetti, he's got the bit between his teeth. He opens up the DRS, and now Stephen will really need to defend. He dives for the inside. As we said, he has to try everything, but still Stephen, the Irishman, holds firm. Nerves of steel have appeared for Stephen out of nowhere. Where is this incredible grit, determination and desire come from of late? I have no idea. He's determined to bring it home for the SRL, and they can continue to hold firm. SML McKinney right up behind him. He's never been closer going through turn 8. Up towards turn 9. Again he has a look. Again the fans are on their feet on the hill. Now through turn 9 and onto the accelerator towards the high speed chicane. The Tiger Car moves aside for these two, and Skeevan is really have to look at his medals now, but the dirty air comes to his rescue, and SML McKinney struggles, he slides, he understeers and drops back again, and the frustration continues to mount. And I have to say, Skeevan has driven a blinder here today. We've barely had time to discuss it, the driver of the day, but folks in the comments, if you're watching, tell us who your driver of the day is. We want to know who you fancy. We'll talk about it at the end of this Grand Prix before the driver interviews us. Skeevan gets a huge bit of understeer coming out of the final turn. It's the final lap of the first ever ULC race on PS4, and we still do not know who's going to come home the victor here today. Through the first corner, Skeevan ahead of us.
He's gone up the inside, quickly, Car, he's gone up the inside going into turn 1.
He's done it.
Clipped him.
He's done it.
And he pushed him up wide. Technique has got a little bit wayward, and he's done it up the inside. Desperation move at the end. A poor line from Technique.
Oh, meanwhile, so McKinney on the inside. McKinney spun. He had Skeevan. He spun it. He's thrown it all away. And surely now, this is going to hand Technica second place. Because these guys have got penalties. Esma McKinney, he threw the kitchen sink at it. He knew he had to go for it. He went for a spin down at turn 4. And now look, Technica is going to rub salt in the wound and goes past him as well. The Spaniard's race is derailing in front of our eyes, and Skeevan is on his way now. He can coast home to victory. No need to worry about corner cuts. He is going to take victory now. Surely the Force India driver, the Supreme Racing League team, are moving out of their garage, heading to the pit wall to greet their man. Skeevan is surely going to do the business here. It's fell apart for the Spaniards. They had to go for it. They were sitting behind them for so long, but they cracked and they made the mistake. And now Skeevan can just lap it all up as the Australian fans rise to their feet in the first ever ULC race on PS4. It's going to be won by Supreme Racing League and their Irish driver. Skeevan crosses the line to win. What a victory for SRL. Carey will hit the line second, but in the stewards room he will be third as Technica takes second. It'll be fourth in fact because SML McKinney gets third. It's fourth for Carey. It's going to be fifth for Pitman and Ace of Pace and Shimasi, the two ILR lads. Look, they're going to be fifth and sixth, or aren't they? Because look at this. Or sixth and seventh, sorry. We've got an incredible battle. Stem all over the back of Shimasi in the closing stages of this race. But is Shimasi going to hold on? We've now got Chumas up the inside as well. And this ridiculous finish. But it looks to me like Shimasi will bring it home in seventh. Mr. Stem will bring it home in eighth. And Chumas is 9th to the line. We'll revise all that after penalties. A disappointing day for TGP. Jake Davies is 10th and actually up to 8th now with penalties, so that is going to get him some points. And Softcop is going to come home 11th. He'll be disappointed. He missed the start, of course, and he's once again been unable to show what he is capable of. But that was absolutely magnificent. Well done to Skeevan. What a race that was. Ollie, I've got to ask you now, who is your driver of the day?
It's really tough for me. I'm torn between three. The first one I'm going to say, and he does deserve a very honourable mention, is Soft Cop. I think the battling he done with Shimasi on very old tyres and a lot of cars was impressive. Next runner-up is going to be Technica. Nobody expected this from him, but then nobody can take away this victory from Skeevan. Skeevan for me is my driver of the day. He absolutely smashed it today. Didn't show any weakness, he didn't show any desperation. We were very, very critical about his penalties at the start, and he has delivered here, and he will enjoy the champagne, the sweet taste of victory for the Irishman, and it's a fantastic way to go. The Spaniards are going to be the most disappointed from this. It was good points in the bag for them, but a desperation move from Marchetti has dropped them down to third and fourth. They'll still be pleased, I dare say, with third and fourth, but it's a case of what could have been for them. And let's let you do the rundown quickly, Andy.
Well, there you go. Skeevan takes victory. He's also, by the way, my driver of the day. Fantastic result for the SRL. They'll be delighted with that. Skeevan wins it then. Technica second. And the Williams lads, the Spaniards, they faded in the end. They had penalties. They had a few attempts at a move and it didn't work out. SML McKinney is third, Carey fourth. They will still lead here, the leaders in the standings. Pitmac fifth, Ace of Pace sixth, Chumas seventh, JD in eighth, Shimasi ninth, and Mr. Stem is 10th. But yeah, we're now going to try our best to get the drivers, the top three, in for a little interview. But yeah, fantastic opening race. Really enjoyed that, and of course it all continues next Tuesday night at 8:30. Let's try and get some guys in here for some interviews.
No, Kari will be the one representing. What a race, though. I mean, what a way to open it. I didn't expect anything like this. I watched the Xbox guys and I knew it'd be good, but I feel like there's something about that just feels really special. Throughout the field there was great squabbles and scraps and little dinks, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. And yeah, remember folks, Codemasters Formula 1 game, they've been very kind to get involved as well, and they will be handing out some goodies to whoever, to the winners of each league, the Xbox leagues and the PlayStation league. So there's a lot to play for, there's a lot up for grabs for these guys and for the leagues involved. So absolutely fantastic opening night. I think it's been a real success. So well done to the admins for setting this up. It's been an absolute pleasure. But as we now get some of the drivers in, we're waiting on one more, I believe. We've got Stephen in, we've got Carrie in, and we're now just waiting for Technica to join us. But we might as well get started. Stephen, where did that come from? It's been a long wait for a win in SRL. Your last SRL win, believe it or not, came at Melbourne. Talk us through it. Faultless drive.
Jeez, I don't know. Australia has always been my worst track. I've never liked it at all, but it must have been really hard for Marchetti to try and pass me. So
just to confirm, Stephen is having difficulties connecting. Oh, it's Stephen, you can go again, Andy.
Sorry, what was up there, Ollie? Sorry.
Sorry, there was a few connection issues there. Just you're
we okay? We okay now? Okay, sorry, Stephen, carry on. My apologies.
Well, it must have been so hard for Marchetti to try and pass me because he closed up on me every time he made a mistake, but he just couldn't make the pass, so I had to defend so hard. But yeah, I really don't know how I did that.
And qualifying, got to ask you about qualifying before we go deep into the race. Was that the perfect lap? Was there much more on the table? So it was very close.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot more on the table, but just Australia, I'm not very consistent on one lap pace, so I just had to get a lap on and see where it put me. So luckily enough, it was 1,000th off, or 1,000th ahead of Marchetti, so that's decent.
And Stephen, I've got
quickly ask Stephen something if you don't mind. We were very critical of you in the commentary box about your penalties that you very often pick up, but you've done very well here. As we were saying, you notoriously pick up penalties, and I've seen you in races before pick up 20 seconds from a race lead and finish in 4th. But today you seem to keep it on track and really push it to the limit.
Yeah, that's probably the first race I've had in months that I've only got one penalty, so yeah, that was pretty good.
Well, it's a good time to do it, Stephen. And finally, one more question. What's your take on the late lunge from Marchetti at turn 4 on the final lap?
I wasn't really expecting it because it's not really a corner you pass at all, and he came from behind me, so I don't know. I tried to pull it as well, but he was on the side of me before I could even react.
Okay. 2 seconds, folks. I'm going to invite somebody else in, but thanks very much, Stephen. Well done. Absolutely fantastic result for SRL. They'll be absolutely delighted with that. And I'm going to try and get Technica in here. We've still not got him in. So while we wait for the second place man, we'll go to the third place man, Carrie, congratulations. The Spaniard gets it on the podium. Could it have been better today?
Yes, hello. First of all, I have to say that I'm Spanish and I try my best, but yeah, I have to say sorry for the incident. That's the main reason. And then yeah, I had a really bad qualifying. I missed the second chance, and I got a 21.8. That not enough, but okay for be third. And then the race, yeah, I hadn't practiced too much, so I had a few mistakes, and then I couldn't pass. The second guy. Yeah. I didn't remember his name. But
I see you let your teammate pass. You let your teammate pass. Do you think your teammate was quicker today?
No, I don't. But yeah, as I said, I did a few mistakes and he he drove way better today. That's okay.
Okay, well,
I just want to quickly ask, how frustrated was you behind Technica? Because we was on board with you for a good 15, 16 laps where you just seemingly couldn't get past. You went for that really late move at the on the final lap. Was it frustrating in there? Was it a tough one to get your head around because you look like the quicker driver?
Yes. Well, the dirty air makes the things much more difficult, but yeah. I tried my best to overtake him as early as possible, and in one moment of the race I was thinking about trying to win the race, but when I was 4 or 5 laps behind him, then I realized I couldn't do anything, and then with the penalties, yeah, I already know I was going to be 4th, so yeah.
Okay, well, congratulations anyway on the result, and yeah, I think you guys are going to be leading the championship after this, but so yeah, congratulations on that, and we'll see you next week. Have we got Technica in here yet? Have we got Technica? No, we do not.
Give him a few minutes, but we can always ask as well. Stephen, quickly, what is your goal for this season? A great opening round. You can definitely take this going into the next couple of rounds. Do you really think that you've got a good chance this year? Because if you continue with that...
Yeah, I mean, if I can perform like that for the rest of the season, and jeez, I don't know. But Australia is usually my bogey track, so I'm just hoping I can get a couple of ones maybe, and see what I can do from there.
Well, well done, Stephen.
A very similar question to you.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I've got to ask you, Stephen, where did it come from? I mean, we were really expecting. You've been in a bit of a rut of late in the SRL league. You've struggled from time to time. You just cannot get it together. What was it that clicked today? I mean, it just seemed. You just seemed like as if you weren't going to make a mistake, and it was mistake after mistake. We saw in Belgium and SRL, we saw in Italy, qualifying errors, and it led to retirements. What happened? I mean, was it just we got the qualifying right? Are you one of those drivers that if you lead from the front, it's all going to go right from there?
I honestly don't know. I don't know what happened. God, it's a bit of a mystery, but yeah, I'm just like being in front. You've got nothing. You just kind of. How can I put this? You're just. It's all easy out in front. Well, if that's what I'm trying to say, but yeah, it's a lot easier trying to get past someone and making sure you don't get any penalties. That's all you have to focus on to do if you're in front. But yeah, I really don't know what happened.
Oh well. Ollie, did you have a question there?
Yeah, for Corey, I mean, I threw my cards on the table very early on, no offence, Stephen, but I have you down as my favourite for the race and possibly for the championship. You showed good pace in pre-season, and today, I think if you would have had clear air, you could have won the race, no offence, Stephen. Do you think that it's an achievable goal to battle for the championship this season?
Yes, I want to win the championship, obviously. But yeah, I'm really disappointed now because apart from Australia is one of my worst tracks in the calendar. I could have drive much better, could have avoided all the incidents and a few mistakes. And yes, but I think the next race and next races I can do much better.
So on the calendar then, I've got this is for both of you guys. On the calendar, which track? First of all, Stephen, what track on the calendar really stands out to you as the one that you can really make a mark? Okay, you've made your mark tonight on what you say is one of your poorer tracks, but if there's one you look at and you think, yeah, that's my track, where is it, Stephen?
Oh god, I'm thinking probably Malaysia or Singapore. They're a long way away now, but
Singapore.
Yeah, I'd say those two.
Okay, well, best of luck. And Carrie, your favourite track on the 10 race calendar, where can you really make your mark?
Yes, definitely Silverstone. That's my track, and yeah, I also have the world record, but yes, I don't know what I do there, but it's my best track and my favorite.
Okay, well, best of luck. Oh, he's going to break some British hearts. He's going to break some British hearts at Silverstone. Yeah, all the British fans will be out in force.
Barcelona.
Well, we'll see.
Hey, Skeven will break some hearts. He's Irish, he's not British, so Skeven could break some hearts as well.
Yeah.
So there's,
very true.
There's every possibility of that. But I take it Technique. We're not going to get Technica. Does it look like it? That doesn't look like it. So we're not going to get him, are we?
Sadly.
So okay, well we'll let you guys go. We know as your Formula 1 drivers, you're very, very busy. A lot of press stuff to do. So we're going to let you guys go, and we're going to go as well. And Ollie, it's time to round it up. We'll see you guys next week for the Bahrain Grand Prix, 8:30 next Tuesday, and it promises to be another thrilling race. Can anyone topple SRL, and can anyone topple Skeven? Ollie, any final words?
Just want to say thank you to everyone who's tuned in, watched along. We've had some great viewers. The chat has been absolutely amazing. I've kept an eye on it throughout there. The excitement. Team SRL was in there quite a few times. People cheering you on, Stephen. The Spanish were in there. They were loving it. It was some great banter going on in the chat. So next week, guys, if Ali is here or if I'm here, either way, I'll be keeping an eye on the chat to keep you guys informed as well. We want to keep a good dynamic going there. But a fantastic job from all round. SRL will be the happiest, but not as happy as the Spanish today.
Yep, so that rounds it off. And we'll see you in Bahrain for another absolute cracker. Goodbye.